You've got to accentuate the positive, eliminate the negative, latch onto the affirmative, don't mess with Mr. In Between. You've got to spread joy up to the maximum, bring gloom down to the minimum, have faith or pandemonium, liable to walk up on the scene. That sounds like good advice, but is there any evidence to support it? The good news is you don't have to eliminate the negative entirely. According to research psychologist Barbara Fredrickson, happy people experience about 3 positive emotions for every 1 negative. Even mild positive emotions can help undo the effects of the negative. What about you? How often do you experience positive emotions? Most people experience about 2 positive emotions for every 1 negative. If you're in this category, you'll be glad to know there are things you can do to increase your positivity ratio. Today, I'd like to simplify some complicated research by telling you about 3 basic ingredients psychologists agree contribute most to happiness. Researchers like Dr. Martin Seligman can help us understand how positive emotions, engagement, and meaning work together to influence our level of happiness. Did you know that positive emotions are often more difficult to remember than negative emotions? One way to increase your positivity ratio is to make it a habit of savoring your positive emotions. Be intentional about hanging on to your good memories. Tell your friends about your good times. Share your stories on Facebook. Write about them in your journal. Last year, a girlfriend invited me to visit the Missouri Botanical Garden with a group of friends. It was a great time of year to visit the garden. The flowers were in bloom everywhere we walked. Afterward, I wrote in my journal. The botanical garden was so beautiful. The flowers were fragrant and the colors were enchanting. The breeze was cool and welcome in the warm sun. We enjoyed roses and butterfly bushes, herbs and dogwood. What a great day to share with friends. As I think back, I'm flooded with the pleasure I felt that day in the garden. The second ingredient to happiness is engagement. Engagement is the sense of absorption you have when you get lost in something you're really enjoying. Let me give you another personal example. Before I begin to work, I make myself a cup of my favorite dark chocolate latte. I savor the first few sips, noticing its rich chocolate flavor. I set my cup down, planning to enjoy the whole cup while I work. I begin hunting for journal articles describing the research studies I've seen quoted. I pore over the methods section to figure out just how the study was conducted. I analyze the results sections with its statistics and numbers. I ask myself, do the results support the researchers' conclusions? After a couple of hours, I'm amazed to see my coffee's grown cold. I thought it was 15 or 20 minutes later, but I feel exhilarated. I could do this all day long. When I get so engrossed in my work that I forget to drink my favorite cup of coffee, I'm experiencing engagement. People feel engaged at work, in their relationships with other people, and in their leisure activities. When do you feel this sense of absorption? What grips your attention so powerfully that you forget to stop for lunch? According to Mihai Csikszentmihalyi, to be engaged, you must find a pursuit that deeply grips your attention. The activity should challenge your skills without being too hard or frustrating. Too little challenge leaves you bored. Too much challenge creates anxiety. While engaged, you feel a deep sense of satisfaction and control. The activity feels rewarding and effortless. Csikszentmihalyi says, the best moments usually occur when a person's body or mind is stretched to the limit in a voluntary effort to accomplish something difficult and worthwhile. The third ingredient to a happy life is meaning. People who feel they belong to or serve something bigger than themselves are happier than those who don't. That's why people who volunteer their time to help others are happier than people who spend all their time sunbathing on the beach. For happiness to be long-lasting, we must have a sense of enduring purpose. Take a moment and think about the things that are most meaningful to you. Are you doing the things that give your life meaning and purpose? Try this experiment. Take a day and go have fun. Shop at the mall, eat ice cream, do whatever feels good. The next day, plan a day of meaningful service to a worthwhile cause. Devote yourself wholeheartedly to the work. Next, decide which day was most satisfying. If you're like most people, you'll find you'll want to continue doing what felt meaningful. To be happy, a person must have meaning and engagement. With these two essential ingredients, positive emotions are the icing on the cake. Savor your pleasant memories. Engage in challenging activities. Above all, make your life meaningful by serving others. Most people are capable of much more happiness than they currently have. The question is, how likely are you to act on what you've heard here today? Accentuate the positive, eliminate the negative, latch on to the affirmative, don't mess with Mr. In Between.